Hey y'all, hey.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What it do, y'all? It is your host on Talk That Talk podcast. I am Coco Beauty. I am Coco Beauty.
And I am Sunshine Hope.
Where your sunshine hope?
I don't know.
Yes, let's try this again. Y'all, we are on episode 12. Can you believe it? Oh, that's so exciting. I'm so excited.
That's super dope.
It is 12 episodes. So it's 3 months. We are dedication. Lord have mercy.
Through everything. Literally. The trials, the suffering, the struggles. And we are still here.
Can we get tissue on the set, please? But yeah, so as we always tell you, sharing is caring. So what we need for y'all to do is to
Like, share, like, share. Share this live right now so someone that you may know may need to hear this.
yes, and this is a really extra special episode. We're getting ready to tap into a whole new series. And
Yes.
I'm telling y'all need to stay tuned because we got some bangers coming in for y'all strong this month. We bringing some heavy hitters. We are bringing some. So again, share. Go to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. We're all on those platforms. Um, so last month we did our healing series, and it was actually Mental Health Awareness Month. And guess what this month is? It is another type of mental health awareness. And I don't know why several months ago, like some strange, I won't say strange, but interesting things were happening. And I really felt like I want our men to know that we love them and that we appreciate them. And I want them to have a voice. Um, and I want to have some conversations. You know what I'm saying? What can we do as women to better help and better be there and support and love and care for our men? Because I've been hearing a lot of interesting stories. And ladies, what are you doing?
What are we doing? So we're here to address and get some insight and get some input on how men really feel and what they're really going through. And like she said, to let them know that they do have a voice.
Yes, absolutely. So June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's also the month of Father's Day. So that's why this entire month we are going to dedicate this month to our men. Um, so what I want to do, oh, sorry. What I want to do is I want to read this really quickly and then we will, get into the show.
Okay.
So June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. This month, let's encourage safe, open conversations, promote support, and aim to reduce the stigma around men's mental health and their well-being. Many men struggle silently with mental issues due to societal expectations and stigmas. This month, let's change the narrative. Let's create a safe and supportive and loving environment where our men feel safe to express themselves and seek support, love, help when needed. Our men are carrying so much without an outlet, smiling on the outside, dying on the inside. I and we don't want them to carry that heaviness and those weights alone anymore. And I just want you men to know that I'm proud of you, that you have made it this far. And I and we as a people, we need you to keep going. So guess what, y'all? We have our first special guest with us.
Yes, we do.
Would you like to introduce?
we're gonna bring out Heavy Eddie, our first guest speaker on the show.
Hey, a round of applause. So talk about who he is. Who is it?
So Heavy Eddie is my brother from St. Louis.
St. Louis.
He recently moved here to start him a whole new journey as I did, and it's me. 9 years.
So I gotta clean it up and put it together, but I try to make it more where if people want to see me, they can see me. Yeah, here with my sister, I came from St. Louis, new journey, new living. But yeah, I appreciate her, being a part of her, her world and inviting me in and I feel the love. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, welcome to Talk That Talk podcast. So yeah, this is definitely really special because you are our first and you are a brother to one of the hosts. So
Yes,
that's exciting.
So he's gonna be the first man that we interview. We're not gonna ask him too many hard questions. We basically want him to just talk about his life challenges, what he may have went through, what he felt like he could have done better, what he felt like he may have needed or he didn't get or he lacked of from maybe his mother or maybe myself. So yeah. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, so the question of the night is what do men wish that women knew?
Um, are you starting out with that?
Yeah, he's starting out with that.
Simply put, weird enough, y'all don't realize we all want the same thing. It's even though it may sound in different forms, but we literally want the same thing. Nobody wants a bum. Nobody wants a liar. Nobody wants a cheater. Nobody wants somebody that just want to go out to the club all the time and always want to be in the spotlight. And I'm like, most of the time, a lot of people be wanting the same thing. It's just the fact that people don't know how to express it. So, you know, that's why it's like certain questions don't help the situation. Because I remember it was a time where men always ask what do women bring to the table, and you will hear that and get offended. Like, but it's really just a literal question. You can if you ask the man, he probably won't even. He probably feel the same way. Like, oh, it's obvious what I come with, but it's like, no, it's not. We don't know what you personally are willing to do. So, yeah, it's
You know what? That's good because actually, I had to come through with the research, you know what I'm saying? And I was listening to this one message that this guy was talking about, and he said one of the things that he said men wish that women knew is that men are not as observant as a woman thinks that they should be. And what he said is we as women need to clarify and make sure that there's an understanding because like you said, when you ask that question, you're not asking to be rude or to be facetious or to just like to demean them. But no, like you said, it's just a question. Like, what do you bring? Like for you as individual, what is it that you bring to the table? It's not to demean you. It's not to say you ain't worth nothing. It's not to for anything for you to be offensive. But like you said, you're asking that question, and if you don't ask questions, you don't have answers because guess what? People assume all the time, and they assume they make an ass out of themselves. ASS, you know what I'm saying? So that's really good that you said that. And I think that's something else. We feel like our men should be like all knowing, like, oh, they should have known better. Oh, they should have this. And it's not that, you know what I'm saying? But men are more like
I feel like we are human just like I think that's where we constantly lose ourselves that we are all human. You make mistakes. certain situations that you get put in, nobody used to certain, situation. And then when it happens, people like, why you didn't react like this? Or why you didn't? I don't know how to react. Like that was the first time that happened to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes the person will freeze up and you be like, yo, come on, get the like I'm stuck right now. Like
Yeah.
I'm in my head, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do I do in this situation? And and that's a tough thing because as you can see, you know, it's a lot of make or break with women. So it's like, now there's icks. So the fact that it's like you can do something and oh, she completely turned. You could be with this woman
Oh,
for
yeah.
5 years and now you done did something that's like, okay, now I don't know if I can trust
Mhm.
because you didn't do what you're supposed to do at that time. And it's like, give me a second chance. I know now. Like I
Yeah.
see because the thing I feel that men realize as well, where once something happens, it's a good chance it may happen again. Oh, that's anybody. Whereas it's like because now that's in your realm of like, because see, when nothing happens, then somebody come to you and be like, "Oh, this happened to me." You don't really think about it because you like, "Well, that never happened to me." So if it never happened to me, I don't know what to really tell you. Or you'll give them your advice on, "Oh, this is what I would have did in this situation," or whatever the case. But when it actually happens, that's a whole different ball game. And it's like, so I just feel like we have to give that respect of like, okay, you didn't know. I feel like everybody should get that chance of like, yo, let me see how if you can make a mistake once, but if it keeps happening, that's where the determining factor comes in. But if it's like, yo, this happened, but I can't really control how a person feels once they see something that they don't like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mess, but I would always want people to understand, like, yo, if they don't change, at that moment, or like not at that moment, but in due time, like if they don't show you something or try to correct that mistake, then yeah, that's a different story. But when it comes to most times where people get into relationships, it's like they look for stuff where they can
That's
be like,
true.
oh yeah, that I didn't like that. I didn't, and yeah, that becomes a problem. So
I think, and what you're saying, I think that's like so true. Is like now we live in a day and age where social media is running crazy, and they tell you look for these 9 things. If this happens, these are immediate red flags. So everybody out here trying to do cross their T's, dot the I, they trying to look at the checklist. Okay, did he do this check? If he did, and like you said, it's like that's another level of pressure for men. And it's like we want Heidi. Oh, she wait a minute, girl. You got me nervous. Well, it's still you still going right, right. And we're not giving people a fair opportunity because guess what? We want the grace. If we mess up, we want you as a man to forgive us, but we're not willing to do that for a man. Oh, he done messed up. That's not fair. And adding that pressure onto them, that was something else that I when I was listening to another podcast, one of the men he said the pressure of making a mistake. He said because as a man, if you make a mistake, it's like that's it, that's all. Like there's no forgiveness, there's no leniency. It's like it's a chopping.
What's the mistakes though? What's the mistakes that
no, this is just no, we're not talking about. I mean, this is like just general. Now we're not talking about like you didn't hurt somebody, you didn't cheated, you didn't lie. Like we're talking about big mistakes.
like first impressions, like how I didn't open the door for you when we went in the restaurant. Now you like, man, he ain't a gentleman.
Right.
Like you like,
that would probably be the first thing I would think of. You know, open the door for me on the first date. Like
maybe he's too nervous. Maybe he's thinking like, "Oh my gosh, my feet are sweating," or "Oh my god, she's more gorgeous."
if the door is like literally closing in your face and he's like 2 feet, 4 steps ahead of you, and you're still trying to get out the door, you just gonna be like, "Oh, maybe he just forgot. Maybe
yes.
I'm like,
why not?
I feel like it's a hard thing to believe because you gotta look at how the whole interaction goes. Because okay, let's just say you mentioned that. Uh, Mom always used to talk about do you be open the doors, the car doors for women? I'd be like, why do I need to open the car door? But see, I've been around women for like 15 years, so it's like I may have lost my step
Just
because
a miss.
my
Okay, so yeah, and I guess I can understand that. If you have not really been around women or been around a woman, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. Like that's something that can be easily forgotten because it's not in your routine.
yeah. And see the thing too is like I also know as growing up, I've always been taught the etiquette of what I'm supposed to do as a man, but I never was taught, oh, this is what a girl should be doing. If she don't do this, I never heard anything bad that a female could do that can ruin something. Because it's like the worst thing I can do, yeah. And I know it, and that's the thing that I be wanting to people to understand, where it's like this thought of like a perfect human being that's not, because even if it's the guy that I'm talking about fit everything on your category, he may be stumbling on that first date because he hasn't probably done it in a minute.
Yeah.
Like you said, okay, yeah, you gotta how many
But okay, we're back. And we back. And we back. And we back. And we back. But I just think that and we back. Oh, it's that little thing that pop. That's what I'm saying. All of this stuff is just.
Irking,
Mm-hmm.
Saviana watching. Well, she was watching.
What's it look like now?
Hold on, you doing something? Hold on. It still got the black stuff around it. Like it's not full screen like it just was. Now you can see our feet. I want to see my feet.
Oh, I'm gonna say
Here we go.
you ain't have to go back for real.
Hold on there. I don't know why I don't go back. There you go.
Yeah. We got too much going on. We really just need to invest in
Yeah, that's the camera guy.
or a real camera. That would help.
That's crazy.
What was you talking about? He made some good points about not being out on dates and stuff.
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
you're not used to it.
Oh, so okay.
Mind reading,
Yeah. So the guy, number one, guys are not mind readers. And us as women, we're all finicky. She may want something one way, I may want something another way, another chick may want something another way. And so maybe this guy has to figure out, okay, well, what does she like? So at the end of the day, us as women need to be more supportive, more communicative. We talk all the time about, you want somebody that's going to communicate. Well, then communicate what your needs are. And then give them the opportunity to decide, okay, can I provide these needs for you or not? Because again, I don't need a man to open the door for me. I really don't want him to open the door for me. That's not, there's other things I would prefer for you to do. You know what I'm saying? That's not me. But it may be something for her that's a red flag. If he don't open the door for her on the first date, it's a no-go for her because she wants that, that chivalry. You know what I'm saying? Me, on the other hand, I may just care more about, um, hey, meet me at the spot. I don't want to ride in the car with him. I don't need him to open, he could be already have our seat together and stuff like that. So it's like we don't even give them the opportunity to even try to get it right. And again, I think it goes again back to social media. We have so many people talking about toxic this, toxic that, this and that. And yes, there is a lot of that going on, but there are still a lot of decent guys that really will try if we give them the ability to. Because again, we expect them to deal with our excess baggage. Those of us that got kids, those of us that have multiple baby daddies, those of us that our credit may be messed up, that those of us that, maybe we aren't the tidiest, maybe we're a little lazy, those of us that aren't organized, those of us that um ain't got it together, or let's say those of us that got it all together. We got the credit, we got the house, we got the cars, we got everything, body yada yada, and all that kind of stuff. But we got a nasty attitude. We don't know how to treat people right. We gossip. We talk. We're in our mouth on the phone all the time. We cuss people out. We fight and we sow in discord. But we want them to be understanding about that. But we don't want to show them that love and appreciation either. Give them the opportunity to maybe, hey, let's work on this, and you know what I'm saying. So
and I'm not gonna lie, the way as time has been really going on, where not even really to even go on to like a deep thing about it, but it's like not knowing the brainwashing that's going on, where it's like the hate man speech is like,
yeah,
like, because see, it was crazy how it was going around where they asking females, what would you rather be in the forest with, a man or a bear? And they like, oh, I'm choosing a bear, and it's like, I'm like, we get it. We understand the whole thing because, yeah, not every man is out here is going to be safer than a bear, or even be a person that's like,
I gotta say something to
or,
that. Let me tell you how I was started. Do you remember the canoes that's like downtown by the zoo? You rent them and you get inside the canoe. You can get inside the paddle one. Or
oh
yeah, the
So,
second one.
yeah. So me, Rydell, and Bun, when he was a baby, we got in the one that we had to stroke ourselves.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, we had got so far out in the water, he just started flipping out.
Ooh.
This is stupid, man. I can't do this. So, in me being the person that I am, I'm set up so like I would never put myself in a boat with a man, and this is how he's gonna act. I can't even be scared because he's freaking out. Now I gotta figure it out on my own. So I'm like trying to calm him down. And I'm like, give me the stick. We gotta go this way. We gotta push it this way. So it's like I would rather be stranded with the bear because I've been in a situation with a man who,
man.
but that was enough for me.
No,
I was like, enough
but
for
there are millions,
But that's how you.
and that's what I'm saying. That's
That's
exactly
simple.
what it
That
is.
one guy, because you got to think. Now, let's just say if I was out there, I'm not finna be doing that, knowing the fact that I'm here to protect my sister and my nephew. So I'm going to be more on a swivel of like, yo, let me make sure my surroundings good. Hey, y'all straight. I'm going, but see, that's the thing of choosing wisely who you lay with, or who, and it sucks because it's because you don't think about it. Like none of us really are thinking about it because it's too much. Where it's like you feel like that you're going to ruin something because you overthought it, but you don't know that you may have been your own blessing if you did overthink it. So it's like
But
you
sometimes you can't really tell a person.
no, you can't because
But what did you just say? You can't tell, so give them a chance.
once this show is
Like you never
that's one man.
That's one person.
That's why you give another man that same shot. If he does the same thing, okay.
Okay, so wait, let's flip the script. I'm moving from my man. I love my man. I mean, I do too. No, I want to take that. That's not fair. Because okay, let's say this. What if somebody said, I never marry a woman that got multiple baby daddies or multiple kids and has never been married? Is that fair?
That's how we feel.
But
I can't be mad at you.
but that what did we just talk about last month? I am not my past trauma.
I can't be. I cannot. What's the word?
But he's automatically disqualifying you without even getting to know you. That's not fair.
And wait a minute. See, the thing is,
but it's not.
No, so crazy. hold on.
It could be
But
your
you know-
blessing too, though.
But you know,
If I want to take me, nigga, you don't want me to do it. It's not about your business. You know? Me?
oh wait, my God.
Y'all see the minutes out of the street. Just
Look, it's I've learned that it's like, hey, you just have to accept a person's mind thought. But the thing I was gonna say is what's so crazy is even if she found that guy that didn't, let's just say if she did put another man in that situation and he was completely opposite. But guess what? It won't be that probably be her to be like, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna, keep him around because he showed me something different. No, you're waiting for the next thing because once that happened and somebody else did something different, you don't look at them like, okay, this is a good quality. No, you waited for that moment where it's time to buy groceries and he didn't have no money. You was like, nigga, you said that you was gonna buy groceries, where the money at? And it's like, oh, yeah, I don't. I'm just saying where it's like,
I wouldn't do that.
I'm just saying it's like when you get that quality of a man where you like, oh, he didn't do nothing like how your baby daddy or any other dude that you interact with, but it's going to be them flaws where you're like, I don't like how you dress. I don't like how he talk.
And there is always flaws. And when you
Because even the most goofiest dudes are. You like, I don't like when you're talking like that, but it's like he's dead ass.
I wanted that again because I was so tired of dating guys who wanted to be thugs and who were actually thugs, and I was just like, this is not for me. I need a geek that's nerdy, don't know nothing but books and all that.
But see, that's the thing is like,
that's a trend too.
Yeah, it's like you have to go based off of what that person is, not necessarily.
Because if you're looking for
pretenders out here too,
but no, I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah. No, that's not how. That's why you can't go for, because you have some nerds that are actually high class scammers. You have some thugs that are actually really good guys, but they just that's all they
because they know that's how.
That's what I did. Or not even that, but that's just the life that they live.
Yeah, that's true.
I have somebody that I know that is very close to me. If you were to look at him like from the outside, you would be like, let me clutch my purse a little closer. He looks like a thug. If you talk to him, he sounds like a thug. He can, but he can switch it up real quick. He's an engineer. He's been an engineer for 10 years. He has his own business, a really prosperous business. He's highly educated and he's a man of God. But when you initially look at him, you would never just run because that's where he come from. He did time, you know what I'm saying? And so he knows how to maneuver. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of times, like you say, it can be a pretender, but sometimes people just look the way that they were conditioned to be.
But see, the thing is, even when it comes.
Okay. And we back.
Back from my break. Took a 10-minute break. break. I just always wanted guys to just be themselves. I have found that some guys, but even like you said, they're accustomed to their environment.
And you
have met guys that
no, it's even the fact that you'll want somebody to be straightforward, but people know that that's not how you get somebody. You have to that cloak that you put over yourself when you like, okay, this is who I feel like I'm gonna have to be.
That's it. That's
and
it.
then when I get you, then I can show you
that's
who I am. And it sucks. But see, that's why I say you have to vex people.
But and you know what? When I listen to this other show, that's exactly what he said. He said a lot of men out here now, they don't feel comfortable being who they really truly are. So they do put on a facade at first because they want to reel you in. They don't want to show you because they know if I show her this part of me, it's an immediate cutoff. But I want to at least give her a chance to. Now, again, you have to be careful. And somebody else said it. Men are hunters. Okay. So they are on the prowl. That's what they do. Us as women, we have something called intuition.
Yeah.
That is our protector to let us know, hey, is this a good hunt or is this a bad hunt? So we have to also function, and that's also why I really wanted to do this, because if we don't do anything else on this platform, I want us to learn how to appreciate the differences of how men do things, how they process things, how they go through things, and how us as women go through things. Like, I want us to embrace our differences, not try to manipulate our men and try to make this and this and like you say, this men hate and men this and men ain't shit and this. I don't want it to be that. I want us to be able to embrace our men and support them and love them. But that is so good, because men are scared of being who they really are. And the other thing is, men also, which is true and it's okay, but men also do not like failing. So let's just say they go out and they felt like they, was fly. Like, you see it all the time. Do you ever watch Indianapolis Pop That Balloon and Find Love?
I be saying to pop the balloon, but
Okay. Well, even on there,
yeah.
Men come, they think that they fresh to death, and the one be like, "Oh, why you wearing shoes?"
Yeah.
He was, and a lot of times you don't pay attention to the after effect, but a lot of times that will scar a man, and he'll never. You know what I'm saying?
If you even notice that too, where it's like, you got to think, a dude do not go down the line and be like, "Oh, it's what she wearing." He only says something until they say something about him.
That's true.
Once I'm telling you, if a dude comes at the line and no woman say anything about his outfit or nothing, he wouldn't say nothing about it. No woman
That's
ever
true.
gets hurt. Even how much we talk about women showing skin and revealing so much, men will really let you do what you do if you're not talking about me. If you're not making fun of me or going crazy on me, hey, if you want to be half naked, it is what it is. A lot of this stuff and a lot of debates that go on that people talk about, it's literally because you picking at us. So, and see, the funny thing about it is too, where it's like, when a woman says men, every even dude that's like, they know they ain't talking, but they know you're not talking about me, but I know you're talking about my essence. Like, so I have to defend myself.
Yeah.
So I have to sit here, and when you like, oh yeah, these men ain't just, what you mean ain't just, so your son ain't shit, your dad ain't, and of course, women got such bad experience with men, they'll agree with it. Yeah, my dad ain't real. Yeah. And it's like, we have to get to a place where, yes, you got to give people a shot, because don't get me wrong, we need to be able to go out and date each other more and be able to be out more often. But it's like, it is just pulled back because she may not like what I wear, or she may like, and now men are starting to gain the traits of women, where now we start to nitpick. And we start to try to find stuff.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, men
Like,
do not care about
I don't like how your toes look. When had that ever been a thing?
No man cares about no toes, but guess
Or
what?
why you wear a weave, or why,
Men never cared about anything that women did until they start picking on us, and now we gotta, oh yeah, I don't want makeup no more.
Mhm.
I don't want no woman with this. I don't want a woman.
Now you got to defend yourself.
Yeah. So
And I think that it should be situational. So if we're in a relationship, you can look past all that. Maybe I'm glammed up all the time. But as my man, you may say, "Hey babe, you look amazing just naturally. Like, I would like to see you more natural sometime." And as his woman, then I could be like, "Okay, I like to get dolled up, but then maybe sometimes I can doll down." It's like a compromise, instead of, "No, you ain't gonna tell me da 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 da." You know what I'm saying? Like,
that,
but men can't. But men, it's like men can't even really speak their mind, and they're attacked. Like, just like we have our preferences, they have their preferences too, but they're more willing to be accepting Because again, they don't want to just come in and start bashing like, why you so dirty, why you not on time, why you unorganized, why your credit not good, why you not this, why you not. They don't just come in straight going for that. They like, you know what, I see you, I love you, you are a good woman, we can work through that.
And the thing that got me to where these ideas where women feel like a man comes into your life and just try to control it. But let's not act like if I if we were dating and you saw stains on my shirt and holes in my shirt, you want to tell me, man, go change. Dude, I ain't. So it's like you and a man would do it with no hesitation, like, oh, I can't be a bum. But it's like that's the thing that women don't understand. It's like they act like they have no control over a man, knowing the fact you got just as much control that he would want over you. Where it's like if you told him, "Hey man, I don't like how your hair look, man. Go get your hair cut or whatever the case may be." A man is literally gonna sit there. Oh, you should like me naturally. See, it's happening now because it's that constant pull and like, yo, you're not gonna keep coming at me about this and thinking that you just gonna be whoever you are and everything's good. No, we gotta understand when you get in a relationship or you're trying to be in a relationship with somebody, it's a build. It's a
That's it.
it's
It's a
a
bill.
it's a
Like,
build where it was like, okay, what can you look at me and be like, okay, I'm gonna date you now, but can you do this for me? As time goes on, or can we talk about or discuss about this? I feel like a lot of more situations will be built more solidly where it's like, yo, we are helping each other out. This ain't me controlling you or you controlling me. It's us seeing that, hey, this will make our lives just a little bit more easier. Or just to be like, yo, I want to be able to be attracted to my woman. Like, you can be dating somebody and then they start getting weight. Or a like you can be literally like, yo, you know what, let's go work out. Let's go. This shouldn't be an issue, but this seems that that's the growing problem because we're constantly finding flaws that we could say, oh, we don't like that. And then we're trying to say that, oh, I'm the prize. So you should do whatever I say and this is how it should go. And it's like, no, the relationship is the prize.
That's it.
Not the people. It's the
I need an offering basket. We gonna get him an offering. We gonna get him an offering. Like, said, yeah, you are because it's so true. Like everything you're saying is just like, oh, yeah, I need it. What else but that's so true, and it's something that I have decided that um we also live in the age where we are all becoming too independent. Where the man is like, I don't need a woman, I can do this, and the woman's like, I don't need a man. But the thing that we don't realize is there is something in a man that actually, if I'm in close proximity, whether it be a husband, a significant other, a brother, cousin, uncle, whatever, there's something in a man that can bring out certain essence from a woman. So there's things that a man that I need from a man to help me become a better woman, and vice versa. And you said it. We need each other because the relationship is the prize. It's not, oh, I'm the prize. No, we are the prize. We're the team.
And I can't even go any deeper where I even hate this whole thing where it'd be like, oh, men have to protect women. Guess what? A woman got to protect her man. You gotta realize
And
you gotta realize there's women out here that will literally because women are just as aggressive as any
This one off. And we back. And we back. And we back.
You need to fill these commercials with. That's what the real paper.
I'm telling you, I gotta write that down before I forget it. But that is so good. But I think again, that's how the enemy is working, is to try to keep us divided. And that's why, like I say, I want this month for us to have these conversations. Because, and okay, so we talk about relationships, but not just intimate relationships. There was a situation that happened with one of my children, one of my young men, and I had to stand up for him. I literally was about to go crazy. And as a matter of fact, it was two different situations, because he liked to. I'm not gonna say that, but he
had to come in.
Yes.
And I have to defend this
and person. To protect my son, because they were coming for him, and I have a good son. Yeah. Now, some things, of course, I may not agree with, but some things I know, hey, this is not him. Yeah. But for y'all to attack him and give him the stigma of potentially getting him a record because he don't want your skank tail daughter.
That's
so step in, because there were some legal things that started to transpire, and it's like, again, like you were talking about protecting, we have to protect ours. And that's something else that I think is also like and you know what, I will say this, the way I was raised, I have seen a lot of this, and I think it's absolutely amazing. A husband and a wife could be beefing or having issues, but when they're in public, they save face. Behind closed doors, we can have it all out. But what we're not about to do is, I'm not about to go there with you in person. If anything, I'll get up and I'll remove myself. You know what I'm saying? And that goes again, like you say, to protect. Our job is to protect each other. Yes, a man can protect, but yes, honey, as a woman, I will definitely indeed.
I feel like you should pay attention to everything. Anybody that you are, considering to be your other side, you have to vex these people. Because it's so much, because you got your image that you have to protect. You have your physical, mental well-being that they have to. If they not acknowledging this stuff, you shouldn't be with this person. And it sucks, because we know that means you have to start all over again. But it's just like, it's better for you to do it now, or finding out 5 years later, or them doing something where it's like, you did not care about me or think about me at all when you did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to have people that have you in mind when they make their moves. I had a homegirl, and it's she's still my homegirl, but the fact that it was a moment where we was at the store, and she thought that a lady straightened my hand with the basket, and she was like, yo, I was gonna get her wrong. That made me really think, like, yo, I want somebody to, hey, yo, what this girl looking? I'm about to go handle her, or understand that I got your back. I'm not messing. This ain't that. Actually, you know what? No. My biggest thing is, we need to get this whole cheating business where it's like, that's a joke, where you messing with your other girls, or that must be with the other chick you were. That actually needs to stop, because it's like it may be funny.
I'm guilty.
Or it's a joke, but you got to think, for somebody, especially like a person like myself that never has ever cheated on anybody, and to even hate to even have that stigma on me, that is a horrible feeling, because I don't want to be cheated on, and I don't want nobody that's willing to cheat on me. Like, so for you to accuse me of something that I haven't did, like, I even get that thought of, like, you keep accusing me of something, and I'm gonna do that. What you're accusing me of.
I might as well go ahead.
I might as well. You've been putting that on me so much that I am that person. Nobody wants to be mortal like that, like, and then turned into that type of person. And it's like, it's so much, but I understand that this is not going to stop overnight. Everybody got so much trauma and been abused so much, where it's like, they don't see it, or they don't see the harm in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, they gonna be like, yeah, my dude, no, I'm just playing. You say that, but that stuff actually sticks because you know it. Especially, I hate the fact that people don't ever think if they know if they was in them shoes where somebody doing that to you, you know how it's gonna make you feel.
Yeah.
I feel like a person, anytime they doing something, before you do it, think of how it feel if that happened to you.
That's called empathy.
And a lot of people do not have it because they feel like, oh, the next person don't got it, so why should I keep it? Why should I stay empathy to people when I know that it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, like, what another person has been through, or the stuff that they went through, or just the fact that it's like, don't invite that energy in when you know for yourself that you don't want that. It's a difficult road, and it's going to take some time, and that's why I even appreciate what y'all been doing, because if somebody actually look at these videos and listen to them, because I watched y'all stuff a few times where it's just like, yo, if it catch the writer where they like, yo, I was going through this, or I hear that, hey, give it time, healing takes time. You're not going, whatever that pain or memory you got, it's not just gonna go away tomorrow.
Right.
It's there. It's actually a part of your DNA now, because you're not going to even be able to move any different because that happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you're not gonna go out another Caillou with another dude after that incident. It's like, I'm not gonna play that no more. I don't trust none of y'all gonna have the right thought that I'm thinking that I want my man to be when I'm out here in this situation. And it's like, but you actually have to also express that to somebody, like, yo, this happened to me.
Yeah.
Now, I don't feel like you should be doing it off the rip of just meeting somebody.
Yeah.
But as time of chopping it, that's why I'm like, what do people be talking about? We have be having these 2 hour long conversations, or y'all talking on the phone to the sun up. Like, what are y'all actually saying to each other? Because it's so weird that when I be running into people, be having these nice long conversations and romantic time, and then something happened, they be like, oh man, I was like, bro, what was I talking about this whole time? Like, this is something that should have came up where you like, okay, yeah, I think this may be an issue in the near future. But no, you pass so much stuff just because y'all in the honeymoon phase and y'all love googly eying at each other and all this. And it's like you missed the opportunity to be like, yo, let me ask these hard questions, even though I don't want to ask them because I know this may scare you off, or
feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, or because the answers you're going to hear, you're going to be like, I don't think this is it, because we don't compare it. Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's better for you to do that now to run into something horrible in the future and you regretting everything.
Yeah,
and it's like, but
And I don't think it's much so of me getting in the canoe with somebody else. It's anything that has to do with my life. If we go camping somewhere far out and you start panicking, but one thing I found out about my fiance, he's like me. He is not sleeping outside. And I agree with him on that. So he said, anyway, the only way he's sleeping outside, he has to have a camper. And I agree with him 100%. So I know if we out in the woods, we gonna have a camper. We gonna lock that door and be in the bed somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
bears can unlock doors. I'm just playing.
So
hey, I say that.
yeah, anything that has anything to do with my survival, I wouldn't dare. But I'll probably already be 10 toes down in that situation anyway, because I know I would have to protect myself or protect my spouse, because you can't always expect or think somebody is gonna be able to defend you.
Right. Yeah.
Not saying they can't, but if the situation happens where
you gotta
be
protect for both of us.
They get scared and panic and freak out. You gotta be on your 10 toes and be like, no, let's calm down.
And
let's do it like this.
If that happens, you can't hold it against them. Because, like he said, you don't know what type of traumas that person has been through.
What if
No, what if he thought like, well, see, that's the other thing. People don't realize that there's a such thing as currents. Sometimes people are just really spontaneous. They forget the fact that they can't swim. Like, I don't know, we've been seeing these videos on YouTube where like a girl, she was like dancing or something and then jumped in the water and almost drowned because she forgot she couldn't swim. Like she was at a party because she was at a party,
but she just going with the vibe and just.
and she
Let me give it a try.
But I was saying that she probably thought that she was more on the smaller end of the pool and like, okay, if I'm gonna jump in, I know I can just stand up. But yeah, but she
12 feet.
12 feet back then head first and yeah, but no, yeah, you don't know a person. You gotta think too, where if somebody like you, they not trying to say no to you. They don't want to say no.
And you know what?
So they like, oh, I guess if you want to do that, and then they get in the situation, they like, trip. You can really true. You can really told them go on a hike.
When men like you and love you, they are willing to do any like they're
first.
Yes.
They don't care. They be like, yo, this is my girl. She say she want to do this. Man, I'm finna do this. Now you out here with the wolves, and you like, oh, baby, I don't know. This is a good idea.
I don't think we would. If I say let's go, what's the thing when we jump off the plane?
Skydiving.
Skydiving. Let's go skydiving.
Yeah,
you might not say no. You can go by yourself.
We can reason.
But see, the thing is, another thing that goes into play is age. Where his age, he's old enough to know now where I'm not finna play no game. He probably been through situations where he's like, yo, I was nice enough to do this, but I ain't doing that no more. No, you go ahead and bust your head, and I'm gonna be on the ground. So, yeah, as a man gets older, his trauma goes with him, not to a point of like, now don't get me wrong, because you got some that are word on their sleeve where they finna tell you their life story right then and there. But it's like other times men just evolve with their trauma where they like, yo, I'm not finna be I'm not finna be extra when this occurs. I just know.
Well,
yeah.
So I have a guy friend that I'm talking to. He's older, so he's like almost 50. Well, he is 50. So he's already like no to this, no to that. He said, I'm not doing all that hanging out. You can go out and hang out all day. I'm not doing it. And if you hang out too much, she said, I'm going to question you because why are you hanging out on Tuesday and Wednesday? You should be preparing for work, or if you got kids or whatever. He said, it's too much. He says, the other thing is, if I want to, because he said what he does is like sometimes he'll like rent a hotel and he'll go to the hotel just to relax. He said, I don't care if I'm going to another city or anything like that. He said, if my mind is set to go and relax, I'm relaxing. So if I'm with somebody that I'm vibing with, they have to understand this is relaxing. No, I'm not going out everywhere. I'm not going here and going there and running here and running there. I'm not doing that. And he's like that. He's very, very like, okay, this is my life. This is where I am. And this is what I need. And if you do too much to the left and too much to the right, it can't work between us because I'm very happy with my life. I'm very established. But like you said, when it comes to like a younger guy, like a guy in their 30s, a guy in their 20s, they will bend over backwards, flip, twist, all kind of stuff. Anything.
You want me to be your thug, your superhero, your smart guy,
your pastor,
whatever. I'm like, younger dude, most of the time they willing to. That's why it's so many dudes
they're trying to find that right. And I think that's probably where the past that we seeing the pretend thugs and the wannabe thugs and the actual thugs. I'm talking about.
But I'm telling you,
those kicked in type of thugs. Like
they don't even try to find a way. They literally go off of what attracts women because they don't. No man wants to be looked at as the dude that don't got nobody.
Yeah, undesirable.
Undesirable. So I'm going to portray myself wherever it takes to be able to say, oh, I know I could get my sort of women.
I say finding their way because you have guys that used to pretend to be this and now they've grown up.
Yeah.
And
they figured
it
out.
differently.
Yeah,
they're like the person that they used to be, and then they realize everything that they did in the past was extra. They were doing it for no reason. Now they feel like a
I'm like you'll bump your head enough where you like, okay, this ain't my work.
Who I am.
Yeah, this ain't me.
This is me being extra.
Because
trying to pull a woman.
Old head at my job said something that I'm talking about. I haven't had my mind blown in so long. Where he was like,
It's like,
yeah, he said the way you approach a woman, you have to understand. You have to stay that way. You cannot change once you approach. So if you're a man that's coming with money, guess what? You're stuck.
yeah,
It's money man now. Or if you the man that brought her on dinner, guess what? You the fool man now.
right.
It sucks, but that's how you have. And it's even where it's like as time goes on, like because he said he's been married to his wife for about I think 22 years,
Mhm.
and during them 22 years, he kind of started separating from his friends and stuff like that. He'll go out, but he wouldn't stay out that late and stuff like. So then, as time went on, they kind of started. Everybody else started getting, families and stuff. So they started separating. So now, as this time goes on, they start reconnecting. Hey, bro, you want to woo? So now he asking her, Kenny, when you start going out, when was this? It's been so long. You ain't did it in so long. So now I don't feel like you that do no more.
Right.
But he like, no, I'm always want to kick it with my homies and go out. So now he done. It's a whole new problem that done grew because he want to go back to just doing a little bit of what he used to do, but you can't do it because now his wife like, oh, you got to be sneaky. You got to be doing something sneaky because you never move like this. When you start moving like this.
And you know what? My auntie and uncle, they have been married, I want to say 30, almost 40 years. And what they said is that when you are looking into being a long-term relationship for years like that, you have to understand that usually about every 10 years, you're married to a new person. So if this is who you are now, just know that in 10 years, but if you are the same person, I mean, I guess in some cases it's good because you're a consistent person, but the other bad thing is that there's no growth because who I am now is not who I was 6 months ago.
Yes. And it should not be a shock if you want to change. Right. It should not be like, who this new person? No, it's like, yeah, it's about that time.
Yeah.
We
So I can start hanging out.
Yeah, especially when your kids get to a certain age.
Especially
2 years. Yeah, it's not so different.
But see, the funny thing about it, and which I always see is where men would always buckle for their women. They will always buckle. When he said that she started doing, going to quit classes and start doing this. He don't think nothing of it. Go ahead, girl, do your thing. He like, yo, I don't know when you start doing this, but do your thing. He like, once I start changing, you must be trying to mess with some of them scams and jive or something. And it's like, I was like, yo, that's so messed up. That's a scary thing for me that somebody that's like, yo, I know I have to start, getting out here and talk, but it's like, I don't want to be married to a woman that can try to control me like that, where now it's an argument when I want to do something different. But, and it's like, and even though I would sit here and tell myself, oh, I wouldn't let you don't know.
Yeah.
There's so much time.
Situation.
Yeah.
Every time when somebody was trying to say, oh, girl, she did this and she did that, I wouldn't know. Don't never fix your mouth to say what you wouldn't put up with, what you won't never do, because you won't know until you get in that situation. Like you don't know. And I've seen a lot of people talk about other people getting in that situation, and I'm looking at them like, what you got to say?
Right.
You had so much to say when Andy was going through with
that.
That wasn't going what?
And it can happen just like that. And that time it can be just like that. Like, oh, it just happened to them, and now it's your turn. What's your move? And that's a hard thing for people to even, come across in their head where like, yo, yeah, this can happen to you. Oh, yeah. This can most definitely happen to you.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like you talked about empathy. I use empathy because I'm like, like honestly, what would I do if I was in that situation? A lot of times I go, I don't even know. I don't even know how I would deal with it.
Because some situations don't even be so big. Like, even though you will see somebody have a huge reaction to something, but you be like, yeah, but then you like, I don't know, because you don't know how she's feeling right now or where her head's at. Yeah, because sometimes it'd be a checklist that went through the head where it's like, okay, it was already this, and now he moving like this. So it's like, yeah, you really don't know. But if anything, I just feel like, and like I said, I know it's going to take time. This is this is just, if anything, when people watch this, or even listen to, or whatever the case may be, you have to understand that, yeah, these are all different forms of people out here.
Yeah.
It's
All different kind of past experience. Everybody grew up different
everybody,
in different parts of the world, different household structures. Like
yeah.
I really be feeling so sad, and I know like I be getting so many things put on my heart, and sometimes I want to be a foster parent. I be want to open up a shelter. I want to go like and I
Yeah, I know it would be nice to have somebody already over there. It's just- it's just right.
But you know what? If somebody sits back there, it'll see their face.
yeah, so it won't keep going. Yeah, so it won't keep
And we back. And we back. Yeah. But what I think is that I feel like uh we sometimes as women have done an injustice to our men in raising them, because number one, we are not a man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I hate when people be like, "Happy Father's Day" to me too. Nah, nigga.
I did it for years. No lie. Me, my mom, Shell, we used to always tell each other Happy Father's Day, and it wasn't because we were saying Happy Father's Day because we were fathers, but we weren't the parents. We weren't the parents.
So, but I think that it should. If that's the case, that's fine. But to me, it's also just the fact of, yeah, it's cool, but guess what? There's a lot of things that we as mothers are not giving and putting into our sons. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not loving them the way that they feel they need to be loved. We're loving them from that nurturing, but we're not making, you know what I'm saying? Like, teaching them and training them, and like, hey, as a man, these are some things that you need to pay attention to. Hey, as a man, don't take it so hard on yourself, son. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, loving them from
if we know what type of man, not saying that what type of man we would date, but what type of man we would prefer. We would think that another woman would prefer. Like,
but we shouldn't do that.
We shouldn't. But if you saying, okay, I would want my man to be able to pay bills if I couldn't pay bills. Son, you have to make sure you have your own money.
I don't think that's fair either. I feel like we should just raise them to be the best individual that they could be, and that's taking care of themselves.
Right.
And then, but then also honor people. Because what I'm saying is, I feel like it's like you're putting, again, more pressure on him to be something that he can't comprehend because he ain't seen it. How can you tell me how to treat a woman if I've never?
Okay,
because every man that has come into your life has mistreated you. So how can you tell me how to do something if I've never seen it? I don't understand what that looks like. Mm-hmm. But yet, mom, you keep bringing somebody in that's disrespectful.
Right.
So it's like, to me, it's like us as women, we should never take any credit for, quote unquote, being a father. We take all the credit for being the solo parent, yes, but we're not a man. We'll never be a man. We'll never know how men function, how men think. And what happens is, as these young men grow up, what happens? They become mama's boys. Mm-hmm. What also happens is they end up having identity crisis. A lot of them are lost out here because they have so
a lot of feminine traits.
Yes,
but they don't have to what they know. Like you said, if they have never been in front of a man, how would they know? So they're only doing what they know. They only demonstrating what they've seen or who they've been around. Question for you. So when did you move out?
Last month.
No. When did you begin to start living on your own? Because you were
When you
raised.
first started.
I'm gonna say probably around 19, because that's when I left. I was staying at Job Corps,
Right,
and even though I was going back and forth, but
right.
most of my time was in my
Mhm.
clothes and life was
the
at Job Corps,
Right,
and then I left Job Corps when I came here, came to
right.
Indianapolis. I stayed out here for about a good year. Um, Came back home. Probably stayed maybe a good year and a half before I ended up, because I know I was moving between staying with mama, then I stayed with you,
Right.
and then that's when I moved out and got my own place. But I stayed in my own apartment for like 14 years.
And the reason why I use you as an example, because nobody showed you. You were basically pushed out there to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
But you did it for how many years? At
All
what?
by myself.
Yeah.
About 14. Yeah, 14, maybe 15 years.
So that's half your life
Yeah.
with no instruction. So it's not that it can't be done, but it was hard, right?
I'm gonna tell you like this. One thing my mama told me from jump when I was young, I can say I was probably like maybe 7 or 8. It was two things she told me. One thing she was like, I'm gonna tell you now. I'm sorry to tell you, I can't raise a man. I don't know how. Your sister, I got her. I can do what I can with her, but you, I don't know what to do. So you will have to figure that out for yourself. And when she gave me that, it was such a mind blowing thing, because it was like, so you telling me I have no information I can go off of,
Mm-hmm.
but then I realized I do. It's the streets. It was the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
and to be honest, when I think about it, Mama really didn't have no type of like leash on me of nothing. Like like I didn't really have a curfew, or I had to do this or that. I'm like, the best thing she asked me is like, yo, can you take out the trash, or help me with groceries, or
Right, because you sure ain't clean up.
I'm like, I can say I got away with that, and that was a constantly that I had even with Leroy.
Yeah.
I stepdad. That was a thing that he hated me for, because she really had no type of control over me. And see, he could have took that role, but he didn't want it because he chose his kids over anybody else's.
Yeah.
So if you wasn't his, he like, hey, you for the birds. And I had to learn that, okay, that's what you chose. And like I said, I always went out into the street. Oh, and the second thing she told me, she said, always get a DNA test. This is something. See, I think to tell a child that at a very young age, it's something that just sits on your brain, because it's like, yo, what made you say that?
Right.
Out of all the
Like,
things you could have said, didn't do what you said.
lay out some information. You could have talked about women,
And you better get a DNA test.
but those are the realest things, because I had to go out and find out why she said these. And I used to, and it's crazy because I used to tell people that the OGs that I used to have on my neighborhood that I used to go to, and they'd be like, "You were just running." I see, this is where the time where you were thinking about rapists and perverts. Don't get me wrong, they was hard around that time, but at the same time, yeah, it was old heads that literally would sit on their porch and they just enjoying life.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to see me, and they used to be like, "Look, man, what you doing? Just walking around?" And I'd be like, "I don't know." He like, "Man, come over here, ride with me."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about just giving me game,
Yeah.
just giving me game. And I was blessed to have 4 of these men that was literally on my block, because when I didn't have one, or he was in the house or something, I walked down further. There was another one, or I go around the corner. There was another one, and every last single one of them always gave me different game. Careful the friends you hang out with. Careful the women you choose. Take care of your kids, regardless of what the situation is. They like, I don't care who your daddy was, you be a better man than your dad.
Yeah.
That is your job. As long as you're here on this earth, you always make a man better than the next man.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to keep evolving, and keep showing that, hey, I had to learn that yes, everybody is different. You cannot place one thing on, because all these different men gave me information. None of them said the same thing. Everybody had their own trauma. Everybody had different, their own kids' trauma. Some had kids that was on drugs. They tell me constantly, don't get addicted to that mess, man. You have to watch yourself. You gotta watch people put stuff in your drug. I'm getting taught this around 10 and 8 years old, where it's like, hey yo, man, you got to watch yourself. And it's like that's why I always tread the way I did. That's why I always kind of gave myself a distance away from my friends because I know as much as we hanging out, you don't have the best interest for me as I would for myself.
Right.
So it was that stuff that formed me to who I am as a man now because I understand where it's like, yeah, I have a lot weighing on my shoulders.
Mhm.
I have, regardless who in my life, I know that I have to be a protector. I have to be cool, calm headed. I can't be quick to act. I have to adjust. Gotta adjust to situations, especially being black. I've been just like my nephew, where yes, I've been stopped and frisked. I have to worry about cops, and I have to worry about hanging out with my friends and cops pulling us over. I've been beaten by cops. I've had situations where yes, they take you. But no, yeah, it's in time you realize like, yo, as a black man, you have a lot weighing on your shoulders, and you have to prepare yourself, and you have to teach the younger kids to, hey man, look, this is what I've been going through. That's why I love telling my nephew, yo, man, hey, think about this, man. Don't be so quick. Hey, I know you want to look cool and be flashy and look like the guy, but you got to realize that attention that it attracts. Some people just trying to hang out to see how you make your move so they can try to take them from you. You don't know what a person's intentions are, but you just see how if they move it in the right way, you have to accept that's what it is.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and be like, oh, when he gonna strike or woo woo. Hey, if a person is good, they good. Until they show otherwise, that's who they are.
Mhm.
And now as I done got older and I see how my
Because you had a friend, your friend, what's his name? Devon. How long you known her boy?
man, I knew that man for possibly a good 22 years.
22 years.
Yeah.
What did he do?
I'm sorry.
Oh, what's up?
Oh,
Okay.
But yeah, no, yeah, it's like you have to actually pay attention to all of that, and you have to understand where it's like, yeah, when it came I'm not even cool with him anymore.
I know. Well, what did he do?
Oh, I'm I'm trying to okay, in a sense,
Okay.
in the sense of in the sense of like where what happened was what I'm gonna say it like this. Okay, so basically, he's always been showing me that it's like built up animosity towards me, where he'd have situations that happen to him, and then he'd come to me and be like, "Oh man, if you was here, this wouldn't have happened to you." And I'm like, "You don't know that." But because he's light skinned, he always felt like, oh no, if you was here, this wouldn't have happened. So I start picking up on that. Like, why you feel like that because of me, situations. And don't get me wrong, we've been put in situations where, yeah, because I was around, everything did calm down. Everything was, smooth because of because I know I understand me being here, it changes the situation. And I know I have it more in my control if I just play accordingly.
Right.
Even like that situation, me being calm is a cool thing. Hey, yo, I'm telling you what's going on. This is woo. Now, if I was, oh man, what you been?
Exactly.
Oh, God, everybody.
Yes.
Like,
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 stuff get out. He was like, because he said he was like, he understood we doing a podcast. I didn't know they changed the rules around here. They be doing a lot of stuff, but
yeah, but it is what it is. I'm like, that's what comes with a part two. That's what we do it now. But all in all, even
I was just saying because I've heard that he done something to you after you guys being friends for 22 years. And I'm like, for men, how does that like how do you trade on your friend like that in the men society, like in their
you
men in
think
their
like the
world?
man code, the
Like,
boy code,
like how do you take 22 years of friendship and decide that's something that you want to do to one basically if I've known somebody for 22 years and I decide, oh,
see, like I said, when I say he starts saying like, matter of fact, one day me and him were literally working at the same job. We're in the same job. And I know this is a crazy thing to ask, but at the time he got his girl, and because him and his girl was staying together, they got a lot of money. He had two jobs. She worked for security. They making bread, so they got three cars. And I was literally like, hey yo, let me get one of the cars, so I can get myself up, and I'll be just throwing you bread. And what he said to me, I started noticing this is where our friendship is breaking, because he literally looked me dead in my face and said, nobody ain't ever helped me. Nobody ain't ever had my back. And I said, that sounds crazy.
So that probably was something within him that started to change. And because maybe whether it be survival, and that's something else.
You're right.
Men right now they're turning into like survival mode.
Yeah.
And once your survival mode kicks in, it don't even matter. I don't care. You, my mama, my cousin, my brother, my son, and we've been in this for 25 years, 30 years. Right now, survival mode for people is insane.
Yeah. And his trust factor was already, because he don't have that much trust with his brothers. Like, if I told you his family dynamic, you'll be like, ooh, like it's a mess. But when he said that, it broke something. It slightly started breaking something in me, because I thought about how many times I helped him move. I mean, he stayed at my house for 6 months, and I wasn't busting his head about rent or nothing. The only thing he was getting on my nerves is because he'd get in a tiff with his baby mama and would leave my door open. So it's like, but other than that, I never looked at him and changed up on him. Like, the fact, even when he got into situations with people, you need a big dog, I come through. So when he said that, it literally was like, yo, how did you even muster up those words to come out? Do you not know who you're talking to right now? Because even when it came to other people that we've been friends with that, would say, oh, forget Ed. He would be shocked, like, yo, Ed? This is the most coolest dude that you can have around you. So when he started trading on me, I was like, oh. And then as time went on, yeah, I start falling back on him, in a sense where when situations occur, I don't go to his side. I address the situation where it's like, yo, maybe you're doing too much. And then he really starts feeling some type of way, like, you choosing me you choosing the situation over me. And I'm like, look, bro, I feel like you're doing too much. If I feel like somebody doing too much, you're doing too much. But he took that as betrayal. So it built from that. And as time went on, and because if I literally broke down to you the little day of him, like the real cutoff point, it didn't make no sense. But it was built up animosity that was just stuck there, where he like, you know what? I ain't gotta tolerate none of this from nobody. And because literally I'm on the phone with another homeboy, and he clicked him over, and he like, yeah, man, what's going on? I was like, well, we all talking to this, and he like, you know what? And Ed could get it. You think I'm a bitch? And I'm like, what did that come from? Like, I don't even want to, go into details of what it come, because if I told he was saying some wild stuff where he was exposing his past, and I'm literally like stuff that I didn't even know, and I was like, whoa, like what's
but
making
this is what I'm
y'all?
saying. 22 years of being with somebody thinking you know them and you don't really know them.
But see, I knew that I didn't, you don't expect to it get there, but the mindset that he has, it was already like something.
How did the gun be pulled?
Okay, so here's the whole story. Yeah, he literally was on the phone. Like I said, it was random how he said that I thought he was a bitch, and he was like, "Well, you would. I pull up on you right now." I'm like, "Nigga, what is you talking about? I don't do what you want to do, bro. I don't care what is you talking about." And yet, like I'm telling you, I can give you the other homeboy that was in the situation. He would tell you none of it made sense. But the dude chose to pull up on me, pull out his gun, cock it, pointed at me, and was like, "Do something now. You ain't tough now." Look, I understand when a man has a gun and I don't have one, you have my life.
Yeah.
Do what you want with it. But you're not finna sit here and think I'm finna buckle or fold or anything. I am a man at the end of the day. So do what you want to do or go about your day. And he kept trying to do the tough guy act and oh and I'm like, my body, the way my body activate, I start shaking. And this is not a scared shaking. This is me quick. This is a quick jerk that I can do. For a big dude, I can move pretty fast. And my body sets itself up for that. Like, hey, warm the sucker up because it's literally like, yo, it's gonna happen. So I have to warm my body up to make these jerks because I'm telling you, they finna come fast. So I'm like, bro, would you please leave me? I'm like, you just go. Whatever point you made it. But he like, no, man, make me leave, make me.
So with him, now this is me. This is where my brain goes to. What happened to him?
Right, how much time do we even got?
Girl will do a show for 3 hours.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time. We're at an hour and 20 minutes.
But now I'm talking about what do you with the office?
He said, "Oh, you guys are good, but I want to be done in like maybe another 10-15 minutes."
Okay, but no. So basically, like I said, the situation was already current where his trust factor of everybody was slowly dissipating. You know, he's having a problem with his mama. You know, and he was going to
right.
Yeah, he got shot before.
He got shot by
Yeah.
baby's mom.
That was a
Was it the baby mama boyfriend or something?
yeah. There was it was actually a girl that he was messing with,
Oh, her.
and she sent her dude on him, and he made that. But that was another thing where it was just like when that moment even happened, his brother didn't do nothing. His brother was staying with him at the time when it happened. And when you expecting your brother to jump into action, like I said, this is one of those moments where it's like you don't know what a person to do when they actually in it. Because when it happened, he telling his brother, "Yo, go get the gun." His brother know where his gun's at. But he kept coming back to him like he lost. I don't know. The man is on the floor bleeding. He got shot 6 times on his side. So he's already bleeding out on the ground. He's telling his brother go get the gun to go, come back at dude. Where his brother running up and down the steps like, I don't know where it's at. And he like, oh my God. Yeah. So he like, okay, forget it. At least just get me to the hospital. So after the second him going up and down, the dude was still bold enough to be right there. So his brother like, well, I gotta do something to buddy. Start putting his hands on him, beating him up. But guess what you did? You just made the situation worse because when the police came, guess what dude was able to say? I was defending my life. I was defending my life.
I didn't know he said.
And all of these bruises came from that dude that's laying down He didn't say his brother didn't have nothing. The way he told the cops, he's like, "Yo, dude was putting his hands on me," and that's where his statement went.
Oh my.
So now he couldn't do nothing about it. But it's like, yo, what was you doing on his property though? They didn't ask that question though. They didn't ask why was you on this property? How did this even come about? They didn't care about none of that. They hear a black man, and it was a white boy. They got sorry to say, but it was a white boy that they had that. Yeah, they like yo. They didn't care about nothing else. You put his yo
black crime.
Good job. Yeah, you put his hand. He put your hands on you. You shot him up. Hey, we sound like this is a regular open case shot. Mystery solved. Dude shouldn't. You should put his hands to himself. So, and that stuff right there, it festered. It festered of like, don't I have nobody to trust. And like I said, I didn't make it no better when it came to other situations where I'm choosing a situation over him, where I'm literally like, hey, bro.
So now you are perceived as everybody else.
I get pushed, but guess what? You still was using me more than you would use anybody else. Yeah. And then another thing that my homie told me, he also got mad because I stopped, giving him the attention that he want in the time that he felt like he needed it. But I start to feel like you don't care about me. Yeah. So why am I giving attention to somebody that I know don't care about me, that you're willing to look at me and say, oh, nobody never helped me out or nobody never did nothing for me, when I have to sit there and have flashbacks of all the times of, man, Ed, I needed you, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. You had my back, bro. Nobody else had my back. You had my back. I have to sit here and think about that where it's like, yo, I have to scrub all of that away.
So let me ask you this. So how, like, after all, like, this is like a great betrayal, right? Yeah. So as a man, how do you process that heartbreak? Because this was like a 22-year divorce.
Yeah. I'm like,
how do you see it? Like, are you now more guarded? Are you more isolated? Do you prefer not allowing people to get that close? Like, what has it done to you?
I can't speak for how everybody because
no, we're talking about you.
No, okay. So me personally, the way I had to take that was our friendship took its course. Where this is where the stopping point at where we don't need each other no more. Mm-hmm. Because the only thing when I look at really besides, being somebody that you can call upon to, help do little errands and stuff like that, it's like when it comes to like just growth, period, we have nothing to grow from each other. Where it's like the way he living his life, this is at a time too, which that's why I said the man is such a wild card because it's like when you look at his situation, it's like, yo, why would you risk your life or because your freedom because he's a truck driver. You're making good money. You're a truck driver. You make the money. You got your girl. You got your house. You got everything going for you, and you want to crash out on a friend over some feelings that you can't even express. That's it. So you willing to ruin all of
Risk
that?
It all.
Risk it all. That's why.
But maybe he's mentally snapping, and I think with the pressures of life and all, like how everything, like people literally, like you said, people are just crashing out over the smallest thing. Like, oh my god, I got a split on my couch. Ah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really
phone. My sister got a phone with my mama, and now the fact that they not with the same plan, she got to get a different number, and that just. Well, I hope she watching this just because she been blowing up about that. And this,
she was really thinking at the table, and I was thinking, like,
it's a new number, but she like, I gotta call these people.
And I've been had this number for this many years, and other people are talking to me and fussing at me, and I was like, ooh, she's salty.
It's a number, but like you said, we are in a time frame where. Don't mess with what I got going on.
Or stuff is changing too fast.
Yeah.
It's okay for stuff to change, but when stuff just start changing all the time, like everywhere you turn, everywhere you go, it's change. It also, especially for people that are not accustomed to such
fast changes,
Yeah.
it makes them like they don't have nothing to control or nothing to hold on to. Everything they hold on to is gone.
Yeah.
And this is gone. And this is
Yeah.
gone. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah,
and a lot
I
of people,
understand. Everything just everything changes in such an instant. But yeah, when it comes to that situation,
I like what you just said. Like you wrapped your mind around the fact that hey, our friendship took its course.
yeah,
And to me that's
Yeah, because
phenomenal.
the gun on me,
That's phenomenal.
that would have definitely been a wrap for me.
yeah.
He's
No, you literally had my life in your hands, and you could have ended it right there. You could have that could have been the story. I wouldn't be right here if he made that choice. And it's just like, and see another thing that he used to say that used to be so crazy to me, where he's like, I never say anything to this man of downplaying his injuries or anything, but he will say, you should get shot to see how this feels. Why do I need to see how that feels? I know it hurts. I know that's probably the worst thing that you ever have in your life. Well, why would you wish that upon your friend?
right.
Just so
taking it out on you.
because I live a controlled life. Everything, my life is far from chaotic. If my life is chaotic, you know for a fact I invited that in. Because other than that, my life is always, I know how to control it. And I know how to move people in my life. If I want you over here, I'm going to, hey, like that. I I move my life like a straight playbook. And people be like, how can you do that? Because I look at the people that I'm around and I expect them to be them. I'm not expecting them to do anything different. I know who you are.
But you were,
You're going to follow suit. You're not going to be held. And to be honest, I even got to a point now where I will let you fall on your own sword because I know exactly how you're going to move. And you're going to hate me because you think that I walked you. No, I knew you was going to walk down there. Even though I told you not to, but me telling you not to was going to make you even go you. So I will play it just accordingly so you can follow your own sword. I'm sorry, but sometimes that's how a chapter has to end. And like I said, when it came to that situation, it hurted because literally, like I tell you, at that moment, somebody was going to die. If my front office didn't come up and pulled up on us, somebody was going to die that day because he's staying around with this tough guy act. You haven't made a move. He got closer to me. At first, he had a distance away from me, which he even pulled his gun out at that time, and you could have did it right there. But you decided to get closer. My body was already going to. Is that going to be a current issue? You ain't got to worry.
protect their property and the other people that stay over there.
Yeah, I said you ain't got to worry about that no more. And lucky I am the person that I am. They took that and they was like, we gonna see, we gonna see. And I still, but I thought about it. I was like, this man literally could have got me kicked out of my apartment. And it's just like, regardless, like I said, it took its course. We didn't have nothing to give each other anymore. It sucks that it ends that way. So now, what it does to me now, I know now, don't matter how long the relationship is or with anybody, it can turn sour. It sucks to say, I can't control what the future holds. I don't know how a person feels about me because they're not going to tell you. I can't. I noticed that now where he could have that whole moment when he had that gun. The man couldn't even make a coincidence, like a sentence that made sense. Nothing was coherent. It was literally just him, just like, why you ain't do nothing when they was over and what? You got to realize the argument that he was trying to give me was something that happened 4 years ago. You waited 4 years to now to come to me to be like, oh yeah, now I'm mad at you. You could have been just said this. You could have been got this off your chest. We could have been stopped the friendship then. But like I said, I don't take that to anybody else. That was me in his situation. I don't have to see somebody like that no more. I will never put. I just know that guess what? When you have a long relationship with somebody, at some point it may go sour, and you have to accept that. Don't get don't get me wrong. When something ends, you will want to end it the nice way, where everybody can just come to an agreement and be like, "Hey,
All right, I'll be back.
yeah, I'm gonna go live my life, bro. You go do that." But no, sometimes they don't know how to do it, so it's a build up emotion, and I have to scream and I'm mad at you, and yeah, and I gotta show you that I ain't no punk, and it's like nobody, nobody in my eyes, I don't feel nobody at this point now. Everything is chess in my eyes. I don't care how you move. I don't care if you're a person that snitched to the cops. I don't care. It's all a chess move because you have so many options to do stuff. Choose which one. And guess what? Not choosing one is still choosing something.
Not choosing and not doing anything is still a choice.
Because I'm gonna tell you, even though if you don't pick, life will pick for you. You pick.
That's right.
So
doing nothing is doing something.
And that's the thing that has to. I don't feel like people understand.
They don't.
And I feel like that is something else that I will take my time to try to instill into people where it's like, yo, understand, hey, even if you decided to not move, you made a choice. And it may not be the best move, but your job is not looking for the best move. Your move is just, hey, what makes sense? Yeah. And if it makes sense to you, hey, do what you got to do. But no, that hurt it. Yeah, it did. That was my brother. You know, I had his back. Any situation, anytime he had a problem with anybody, hey, bro, you want to roll with me? Let me get my shoes on. Come pull up. And I'm telling you, you can ask any of my friends, we had multiple situations. And it's crazy. It's like as much as
they're using you as a freaking
shield, bodyguard. That's why even when it comes to women, I get that same treatment where she's with the guy and she'll put me in a situation where she knows he's there. I got him. Do something. Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot of that stuff been happening too. That's what I'm saying. Like these women out here, they do crazy stuff.
I've been put into so many situations, but see, I'm emotional intelligent. I'm an emotionally intelligent man where it's like I'm not gonna let my emotions get all riled up and try to no, I'm gonna adjust it. But see, that's another thing. Me being my size that I am, I know I control the room because he's not gonna move until I do something. Yeah. And even if I do something, he gotta really he feel like, yo, if I don't got an army with me, you saw how Rondell pulled up with his cousin, his uncle, his baby, 4 cars was pulled outside because he thinking, oh, if I pull up to this nigga house, he finna have some soon. But I'm just saying the situation where it's like, a man will feel like what he have to do to, keep himself safe. But yeah, but no, yeah, that mess hurted. That was most definitely my brother. But like I said, at that time, it took its course, and we have to always understand that that's in a relationship. It's going to take its course. You want it to end nicely. Yeah, you want it to end nicely, but sometimes it don't be like that. And you have to accept once you see that that's the end, that is the end.
After that, this was good. Yeah. I'm sleepy.
Yeah. But I appreciate y'all. This was
really good. And we got a chance to hear about the relationship with girls, with friends, the betrayal, like.
And this was something that made those two. Yeah, this is. Yeah.
And again, like it's all about even with you going through that and you processing that with your friendship. Did you have to process that alone?
Yep.
And that's right there.
Well,
Because of men, and what I'm saying is like just the whole thought process. Like a lot of times men also feel like the need to have to isolate themselves, which I feel like we all do that as well. But a lot of times us as like women, we like have a
no,
close friend or something like that.
yeah,
But
you're
for
gonna
you
find
as a
somebody
man,
to vent
a
to.
lot of times you guys internalize it and you isolate yourself. And so that's why again at the beginning I say we need to be more open to, for instance, like now this was a safe space. You've vented about all of this stuff that just happened to you. Like, have you been able to really throw it all out there about what you just experienced, like from beginning to end?
I'm
Maybe a
like,
little bit, right?
I can say, to be honest, really, I I probably say I had two people in my life. Well, actually, matter of fact, not just one. It was the homie that was on the phone with us at the time. I vent to him, but at the same time, it was even annoying to him because he now had to choose which side. And it's just like, but he can't choose that because it's like, yo, you my dog and you my dog.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm telling you, and I told a few people too, where it's like, they made me feel like I should look at him different because the whole time that he was pulling up to my house, he was calling and telling me because he had his location, and he like, yo man, he 10 minutes away, and I'm like, all right, man, look, I'm finna get ready to go to work, bro. I ain't got time. He like, man, he 5 minutes away. Yeah, he pulling up around the corner. And it's just like, that felt so weird because it's just like,
Instead of him calling him and saying, "Bro, don't go over there. Why are you going over there? Like for what? What are you doing?"
no, he wasn't picking up the phone. He wasn't picking up the phone when he got into that moment. But it was just the constant alert where it's like, danger is
Also,
coming.
he was caught in the middle.
Yeah, he really was. He
Caught in
really
the middle
get.
too,
Yeah.
so I mean, in
Yeah.
any, I mean, honestly, that would be hard either way.
Yeah.
You would definitely try to stop it, but in the same token, like you say, if you cool, you don't want to start taking sides because then if dude is already on 10, he may tweak out on the other person.
Yeah.
I tweak out on both of you. So what I'm saying, I get it, but
Yeah.
I just think that we need a space, not necessarily on social media, but we need to make sure we give our men a safe space to be able to talk about these things and to be able to vent with no judgment and to let them be vulnerable, be like, hey, yeah, I messed up. I should have never did that. That was the worst thing I could have ever did, da 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 da. Or whatever the situation is, and they don't feel judged, they don't feel attacked, they feel free. You know what I'm saying? Like a level of understanding. And then not just that, hey, guess what? You did mess up, but guess what? I still love you.
Yeah.
You're still amazing.
But see the thing too about that, where it's like trying to have those spaces because it's like, you know, the thought people also have that trauma of you giving out this information and somebody using it against you.
Well, as I
And
mentioned, I used to say
and,
that all
and
the
to be
time.
honest, that's so crazy where it's like that is the thing where men and women, or it's going to be the most difficult thing ever because we've seen it constantly where a man will break down to his woman,
Yep.
and then when they get into an argument, oh, that's why you be kissing in the bed because you had nightmares about your granddaddy. See, that ain't my fault. That's you. You be like,
Yes.
whoa, like did you
Yes.
just really just
Air my business.
and then it was so crazy too, where we didn't have situations where a woman would literally prove it at that very moment where she's like, she'll sit here and be like, "Oh, you should be able to express to me," woo, woo. And then that same moment, she'll be like, "Well, you know what? When you got night sweats, don't call me." You be like,
And you know what? That's again, that's why I say the head of the game for a change.
right.
This one recording.
Okay, I'm almost 2 hours. But I just really feel like we all need to just do better. And I feel like that's also why couples therapy really is good because
Yes.
it teaches you how to
Yeah.
have those conversations. It teaches you how to, when you have a fight, you fight fair. We're not talking about you peeing in the bed because you have nightmares. No, we're talking about the fact that I don't like that you come home too late every night or you always hanging out, or whatever the situation. We talk about that situation. We're not talking about all of that other extra stuff because yes, women do that. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted this platform to be something that we talk about and we discuss, and we as a people, as a body, we try to do better to love on our men a lot more and not tear them down because it's really scary out here.
But the thing I be wanting people to see too is the people that keeps egging it on. Those are the people that you have to really watch because it's like when you know that you want to do better for yourself or be able to be in a different mind space to be able to comfort somebody and look how the people that disagree with that or be like, well, they don't care about how we feel and it's like it's never that. And you have to understand if that's the case, why are you around people that you feel that way?
That's true.
You should not even if you feel anybody is around you that's gonna disrespect you, make you feel some type of way, anything, why are you around them? These are people that you need to get away from completely. Seven them times or if not even seven them times, just give it that space because you understand that that's not their characteristics to actually be somebody to be there for you and be able to express themselves and talk that. But it's like I know it's difficult because like I said, nobody wants to start over. That starting over is the most scariest thing because that means that you got to do this whole process over again. And that's why now we got the mindset of having a roster where it's like, oh, okay, well, you know what? If he acting up, boom, I'm gonna go to the next thing. And then you constantly have to, oh, men do it. No. Men, you know what the thing I want to say?
No.
Because it's just like
We don't have a roster because we got one.
I'm saying men can be hoes too. And I think
men's are the biggest.
so why are we acting like that men are got this umbrella of okay that they friends. It should not matter who's giving them the okay. A hoe is a hoe.
No, this one man said something, and he made a very valid point. He said that men need quantity,
Quantity.
and women need quality. So a woman, all she needs is flowers, affection, and she's good. Men have to have multiple women to satisfy their ego or make them feel
No.
it's a certain way.
No. See, you gotta have to understand. Men, they are just hoes. Like a dude.
There's a reason behind them being that way.
Because you're gonna do whatever you can to get away with. If I can get away with to having multiple women, I'm gonna do that. But if you're not letting me get away with it, that's I know so many men out here. You know so many men out here that don't need multiple women. They're good with their wives. They're good with the women that they have in their lives. But we got so many people that try to pull out this narrative that you have to have. No, if you now don't get me wrong, I'm not a person that go against like polyamorous relationships. If it works, it works. I'm not finna stop somebody because the whole name of the game is being around people that's gonna love you, that's gonna respect you, and that's gonna actually, talk to you, give you some type of nurture. But other than that, it's like, we know real men or men that know themselves. I don't need to have all these thousands of women or a bunch.
Well, I like how you said that. Men, real men, and men that know
I
themselves.
don't want to say real men because it's just like
right. No, it's true though. Real men,
Real men,
they know themselves. Like real men, they are set in who they are. They know what they want. They don't need a roster. They don't need their ego to be boosted. They are who they are, and this is what it is.
The reason why I said I don't want to say real men because that's putting it in a category like you have to be. This is what considered a real man. I'm literally saying you have to understand who you're dealing with. Because if you're dealing with a man that wants multiple women, you have to understand that's the game that he wants.
That is true.
What?
Well, a real man will. Because honey,
These
and that's true. There's a lot of men. Yeah, there's a lot of men
I'm
out here
like,
now, even now that I'm
he's
dating,
mature. I would say more mature.
they will tell you like, hey, are you okay
Yeah.
with
This
this
situation.
yeah. So and that you have no choice but to respect them because
Yeah.
they're already letting you know, hey, I'm not monogamous.
Yeah, because you gotta admit that you know there's a childish nature.
Let a woman say, hey,
There's
I got a man.
there's
Hit by man.
no, there's a
Nothing
TV show. Yes, there's this woman. She
lady.
oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like women can get away with it too, where they can have multiple men, but it's like say that. Say that and give me the option if I want to continue.
Say that.
To continue doing this ride. Other than that, if I don't, then let me get off and move on.
You got some boy dating sites that actually that be like me and my woman looking for a girl.
And they'll take like pictures together. Yeah.
I was messing with a girl that was in a polyamorous relationship, and she broke that off. Don't get me wrong, I had to look at her different because you chose that.
Hold on, you say you was in a poly relationship?
No,
or the girl was in a poly
I was messing with a girl that was once in a polyamorous relationship. Yeah, like she basically before she started talking to me, she was in a relationship. She was in that poly relationship, and then after she left them, that's when I ended up running into her. But yeah,
but you know, then there's also a lot of people out here now that are doing. And we talking about something totally different, but
yeah, I'm sleeping.
and we where a lot of men now are dating women that are bisexual.
Yeah,
it's turning into.
But you gotta think even the women that are lesbians are no longer being lesbians.
But no, wait. What I was saying that to say because of what you said. Men will do what you allow it. Like if you let me have multiple women, I'm gonna have multiple women. Why not?
If you're not trying to look for me cheating, I'm gonna be just cheating. You know, not saying that that's your job to be
an investigator.
But it's just like if you
already establish those boundaries.
Yeah, because it's like because a person like you said, like women intuition, you know when something don't feel right.
Yes, sir.
So it's like if you're not trying to see if you're not expressing that feeling that you got and they doing something and you feel like you're allowing them to get away with something that but at the same time it should never be an issue for a certain that's why I be like anytime a woman be like, yo, I asked this and you start getting loud, why are you dealing with somebody that's getting loud with you?
Right.
It shouldn't just simply
and that's what happened in my previous relationship. Every time I would ask the question, like,
you gotta no, okay. This ain't gonna work. What are you getting loud for? If I'm talking to you in a normal tone, why are you going up an octave? That's what you're doing. What you're not gonna do.
Yeah, you feel some type of way. That's why you already getting there. But at the same time, somebody that you're dealing with, it should literally just be a conversation.
Literally.
Like oh yeah, I feel this
talking to you, I'm talking to you, not you talking to the people next door.
Right.
We talking right here at the table.
You feeling some type of way, ain't you? Stop. What you been doing?
Right.
What have been doing? You know she was over last night.
I'm like, I understand that.
You don't mean it. Girl.
But yeah, no, it's it's a lot of relationships that I run into. I'd be like, yo, why is you allowing this? What makes you and I never really get an answer because it always baffles me. Then it's not even just that, it's like, yo, you didn't see this when y'all was together, yo, you didn't know. Like I got a friend that, his girl, the way he met his girl, she literally
Someone to let me talk
oh,
Pete.
I don't know why you can ran and go use the bathroom real quick. As many times as things don't frozen.
I know. It's gonna freeze here in a second.
But I'm like, but no, I was just gonna say his situation where, he got his girl on a wild tip. He knew that his girl was messing with somebody at the time, and he still played his cards as any side nigga or, and it's like, and then she left him and actually got in a relationship with my friend.
I knew it was coming. It's like every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutos.
You done, shit, we can call it. This was nice.
This was our 2-hour episode with our first guest. And we back. But yes, this was amazing.
Yeah, the police showed up, you know.
As always, so they always be coming and touching us.
Oh my God.
She saw that.
Oh.
Okay, so like, but this was great. I was trying to end this like 15, 20 minutes ago, but they was not trying to hear it.
No, because we got stuff to talk about.
I'm like, maybe a part 2 coming. So, something.
Like I said earlier, we was talking about friendships, relationships, and betrayal. We got into some of that.
It was I noticed that y'all really was acknowledging how I've been moving as a man and seeing the choices that I've made and yeah.
I'm proud of you.
And I
don't even know you, but I what little I know is she was like, my brother's coming to Indianapolis. I'm like, okay. I'm like, for what? She was like, he need to change his life or he want to do something different.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's great.
If anything, it was me moving, just moving.
He was saying about her for 9 years ago. So he finally.
Well, I'm because you finally decided to make that decision.
Yeah, it was a tough leap.
I bet it was because you're literally catapulting your life into the unknown.
Yeah, and I didn't know how it would play out, but I come to the realization where it's like, yo, you can't expect the future to be comfortable. For any type of growth, you got. Right. They say, see, now y'all really gotta leave because you're touching stuff and.
Yes, but yes, we have thoroughly enjoyed Heavy Eddie. It has been amazing. It was so good. We may have to bring him back on the show.
Yeah, don't talk to me at home. I'm gonna be live from the crib. See, they like to talk for 2 hours. I can lay in my bed and talk to y'all for 2 hours.
No.
She said, Skype me or something, Zoom or something.
No. Look, use me as a what's the thing?
No, you are a co-host, so you need to be able-bodied.
You do things. Are you not really there?
A hologram.
Hologram.
No,
Yeah,
we're not doing that.
do a hologram.
That's okay. I'll do the show by myself then.
That's dirty. Don't do that. You ain't gotta do that.
Oh.
Y'all team, y'all talking mess.
I know she is.
I was holding my pee for 15 minutes.
Do not know why. You literally could have just went to the bathroom.
Like many times. Especially because it's 2 of us. If I was here by myself, it'd be different. But I got me and him, you know what I'm saying? We hold that, but we gotta go though for real though, because they talking about the clubhouse.
And I just have to work at 8 o'clock. Thank you.
And I gotta be up at 6:30 in the morning to take my son to summer school. If she cares.
If they care. I got to work at 8.
Look, he's like, don't even. But yes, it has been wonderful. Do not forget to like, subscribe, share this live. Thank you all for those that have tuned in, those that have commented.
Yes, we appreciate you.
We appreciate it. And
staying up with us and rocking with us on this late night when we supposed to start at 8 o'clock and we did not start at 8 o'clock. Thank you for your.
But we still started at a decent time, and we thank you all for tuning in.
Word.
Peace.
Okay, bye y'all. Lay you on time.